Stephen was always creative. He had a patient, careful way about him. He used to love sitting with his father after school and drawing.
Thank you so much.
I think he was about 7 when he announced that he wanted to be an architect, and he stuck with that. I'm sure if he was here, he'd have a few suggestions and corrections for you, David.
Neville, been waiting long?
13 years. I'm counting.
When my son was murdered, the police thought just another black boy stabbed. But there's no such thing as just another black boy. And this building, this center, will say that much more loudly than I can. And the brilliant young people who use this space, they will be Stephen's living legacy.
My son's killers were identified 13 years ago, within hours of his murder. Since then, there's been 3 investigations. The law of double jeopardy was changed so that murderers could be retried. And still we're sitting here with no justice.
I understand your frustration, Mr. Lawrence. But after reviewing the evidence, the CPS did not feel there was a realistic prospect of conviction.
It has been 2 years since the last investigation concluded, and we still haven't seen any evidence. We have no way of appraising whether the CPS was justified.
I can assure you it was.
No. You can't assure me because you're telling me that there's nothing you can do, and I don't accept that.
I think the only way forward is to go to court, seek a judicial review of this decision.
Mr. Lawrence, what I can do is arrange a review of your son's case.
Will we be doing this review? Which one of you is the investigating officer?
Morning. It's been cleared out. All we've got to do is hand over these to the developer, who's 20 minutes late.
Used to be my Nick.
Yeah? Well, it's no longer fit for purpose in the modern Metropolitan Police Service. We're surplus to requirements, Sean. Like this old dump.
Except when they finished here. 2-bed flat, $500,000.
This place was supposed to be empty.
What is all this stuff? These are case files. Looks like all police property has been properly disposed of. Oh, a patrol car. Easily missed.
The developer. Better tell him we're not ready.
Sorted. Records management will be thrilled.
What the hell's Operation Fishpool? It's all one case.
Can't be.
A disappointing tournament for England so far, but it hasn't dampened the spirits of the mass ranks of England supporters here at the Belmont Arena.
You go, lovey.
Thanks, love.
What are you up to?
Just tidying up some old files from Deptford.
Just some old files? I know who that is.
Well, they were just left there, gathering dust. Not right, is it? A case like this needs solving.
One officer who stood out and heavily criticised by Macpherson was Detective Sergeant John Davidson. He had been responsible for handling vulnerable witnesses and arresting and interviewing some of the suspects. So you're telling me that a key detective in the first Lawrence investigation was corrupt, and in the pocket of Clifford Norris, the father of one of the suspects?
From my conversation that I had with John Davison on that day, I would say that John Davison was receiving cash from Clifford Norris. By his expression that he was using, it was getting a little earner out of it. It was a good little earner. Yes, and that, in my mind, was corrupt practices.
Neil Putnam, ex-detective of the South East Crime Squad, became a supergrass after getting arrested for corruption himself.
Why now? If he knew what was going on all along, why didn't he speak up earlier?
He says he did. Claims he told the officers who debriefed him in 1998.
The Metropolitan Police have ceased to amaze me.
It's going to be broadcast on Wednesday night.
Oh, we'll need to respond then, won't we? I mean, surely this throws up new lines of inquiry. What are the police doing?
I'll ask for an update and...
We need the Independent Police Complaints Commission to investigate. We need to keep up the pressure.
To see Deputy Assistant Commissioner Dick.
Could you just sign here, please?
I'd like to take on the Stephen Lawrence murder.
Oh, the case has already been allocated.
With all due respect, Ma'am, the senior investigating officer is catching cannabis farmers in Newham. As far as I can see, young Stephen's been gathering dust for the last 3 years. No one seems to want to touch it with a barge pole.
But you do.
I've been through the files, Ma'am. It's a straightforward crime that I think we should be able to solve with a bit of common sense coppering.
Common sense coppering.
Yes, Ma'am.
Right, well, I'll give it some consideration. Thank you, DCR Driscoll.
The brass have asked us to reinvestigate the murder of Stephen Lawrence.
The Deputy Assistant Commissioner was quite specific about this being a review.
Thought we were moving to proactive stuff.
Change of plan. This will be our priority for the foreseeable.
Seriously, hasn't this case been investigated to death?
You're not wrong there, Tony. This murder has had 3 investigations, 6 senior investigating officers. It's even had a public inquiry, and yet no one has been held to account for young Stephen's murder, which means we, the Met, failed to do our job and failed in our duty to the Lawrence family. It is our privilege to be able to put that right. This is not a whodunit. We know who done it. Norris, Dobson, Knight, and the A-Court double acts were all named by numerous people within hours of the murder. What is a mystery is why, when there were clear grounds for arrest, the senior detectives at the time waited 2 weeks to pick them up. 2 weeks! Remember in the 90s, we'd arrest people first, ask questions later. We'd arrest just for fun. They cocked up badly. So we're not going to be marking anyone else's homework. We're starting from scratch on the basis that we're more than a match for a gang of racist thugs. So we're going to need witnesses. That's you, Birdie. Tricky, you'll be sorting all the case files. The clothes of both Stephen and the suspects, we need forensics to look at them again. We're going to leave no stone unturned, no stone unanalysed, no stone uncarefully noted and filed. It's going to be a slog. So if you don't want to be here, let me know. I'll help you get a transfer. Because if you don't want to be here, well, it's going to be a nightmare. Right, any questions?
Okay.
No, good. Right, let's get to work. DI Sean Keep will be the IO. He'll be allocated tasks.
Gov, I'm out. I'm just a copper at the end of the day. This is a bit, too... You know what I mean. No offence.
None taken, Tony, mate. I appreciate you being straight with me. Wellhall Road, Elton. This is ground zero, where the murder took place. From now on, this happened today. You've just arrived at the crime scene. April 22nd, 1993. Stephen and his friend Dwayne Brooks are waiting for a bus. Witnesses say they were happy, relaxed, talking about recent Arsenal signings. After a few minutes, the bus hasn't arrived, so they head back down towards the roundabout. From there, they'll be able to see a bus coming in either direction, and they could have legged it to whichever came first. Keep going, Sean. Yes, stop there. So Stephen was about there where Sean is now. Dwayne was here, a bit behind. Dwayne sees another 286. Then he hears someone shout racist abuse. He turns and sees the first of the white boys running across the road towards him.
Dwayne sees them converge on Stephen, then legs it and shouts for Stephen to run. Witnesses say Stephen was set upon by 5 or 6 men. They bundled on top of him. Stephen is stabbed twice. The knife or knives went 5 inches into his body. It was a brief attack, a blur. When Dwayne looks back, he sees the gang fleeing up Dixon Road. Stephen is running towards him. He runs past the stop, trying to catch up with Dwayne.
Dwayne's telling him to run. He's worried the gang are going to double back and trap them. Stephen calls out to his friend, "What's wrong with me?"
He managed to make it 130 yards from the site of the attack. Incredible, considering the stab wounds had severed axillary arteries and penetrated his right lung. He collapses heavily on the ground here and is unresponsive within seconds. By now, it's about 10:43.
At 11:05, on arrival at Brook General, Stephen Lawrence was already dead.
I feel some peace when I'm in Jamaica, you know? But England, every time I come back here, I just start to feel so angry all over again.
You have a lot to be angry about.
I know. But it's not a nice way to feel.
We keep you in our prayers, Neville.
I know. I'm grateful. But it's hard to pray when your heart is full of hate. That's the thing that holds me back from being baptized.
All he asks is that you open your heart. He'll do the rest.
You know, after Stephen died, after the first trial collapsed, a man came to see me and he said that he could take the burden. Told me that if the police couldn't give me justice, then he could, outside the law. You understand what I'm talking about now?
An eye for an eye. But never one.
I told him no, because I knew I didn't want to be like them. I didn't want hate to consume me. But when the Lord tells us, turn the other cheek, I don't know where to begin with that. What does it mean to turn the other cheek? When your son has been murdered, what does anything mean after that?
All right, mate.
All right, Bill.
Jammy win against Liverpool, that.
Jammy? Nothing jammy about it, mate. Pure artistry.
Listen, commiserations, getting that case dumped on you. Waste of time and money.
I don't follow.
Saint Stephen Lawrence. I mean, what makes him so special, eh? It's embarrassing how we kowtow to that family just for them to slag us off at every opportunity.
Thing is, we didn't finish the job, did we? I mean, I'd be slagging us off if I was in their shoes.
Case records are mess gov. Missing witness statements, got blank actions.
Well, if they've made a hash of it, we're not going to patch it up. So, start it again and start it right.
Well, we got 540 boxes back there. That's tens of thousands of documents.
Better get a start on then, ain't you, Tricky?
I'll see what we can do. Maybe we can stretch to another indexer.
There's a few potential witnesses on the estate we're pretty sure could put the gang near the scene.
Great, bring them in.
It's complicated. Basically, they told us where to go.
Keep going.
Well, you got witness K, right? He knew the suspects. He said he visited the A-Courts on the night of the murder. He saw Neil A-Court and David Norris in a state of undress, as if in the process of cleaning themselves.
Perfect.
He wasn't interviewed for another 12 days. I mean, the kid apparently became fearful of reprisals and has refused to cooperate ever since. And then, what is a pattern? Now, he's a decent witness, delays him following him up and changes her heart.
We're talking about kids, for Christ's sakes. First priority should have been making them feel safe.
Well, as it stands, they don't love us, Gov.
What about Stephen's friend, Dwayne Brooks?
He really, really doesn't love us. He wasn't handled well in the past either, and now he's wary of us.
We're going to have to reassure him. Not only is he a witness, he's the second victim. He's vital.
Got it.
What about Mr. and Mrs. Lawrence? We're going to meet with them?
No, they've been through enough. I'm not going near them till I've actually got some good news.
Thank you so much for coming in, Mrs. Lawrence. I want to acknowledge at the outset the great injustice your family has endured. I think it's fair to say your son's case and the hard lessons learned from its many failures are part of the IPCC's organizational DNA.
I think it would be helpful if we could clarify the terms of reference of your investigation.
Yes, of course. The key question we aim to answer is whether ex-Detective Sergeant John Davidson had a corrupt relationship with Clifford Norris, the father of one of the suspects.
We had concerns about the initial investigation from the start.
Rest assured, we will be going through Davidson's actions with a fine-tooth comb.
My point is, I don't believe the problem was one corrupt detective. My fear for a long time is that this has been an anti-investigation designed to cover up the truth.
Since the suspects were not arrested until at least 2 weeks after the event, I believe that looking at their clothes for fibres that could have come from Stephen Lawrence's clothing is not worthwhile at all.
If I was going to kill myself, do you know what I'd do? I'd go and kill every black coat, every khaki, every copper, every mug that's I know.
Morning.
I'll go down cat good place tonight, I'm telling you, with 2 submarines.
Surveillance tapes from '94. Just got them from the archives.
Mate, torture him, set him alight. I blow 2 legs and arms off and say, go on, you swim home now.
And this is from the surveillance team. The whole gang at a christening a week ago.
Look at them. Not a care in the world. How did they not nail these bastards?
I'll give you one reason. They didn't check their clothes fully.
What do you mean?
Forensic Science Service. They didn't look for fibres from Stephen on the suspect's clothing.
Well, yeah, but there's a brief attack.
Yeah, it says... Here, brief attack, out in the open, chances of forensic exchange, vanishingly small. Who said it was brief?
First investigation did. It was in the original lab request. Brief attack.
These phrases, someone uses them once and they get repeated as if they're gospel. And what does brief even mean? What, 5 seconds, 5 minutes? It's hardly precise, is it?
Right, and then there's the 15-day delay before the suspect's clothing was seized. The forensic people, they reckoned any traces just would have been lost by then.
Yeah, if they washed them, but that's a big if, isn't it? I mean, the clothes might have just been sat at the back of a wardrobe. They say there's no point checking. I tell you, if I had a quid for every time a scientist has told me there's no point doing something I asked them to do, I'd be able to buy Fulham a new centre forward. I mean, a small chance isn't no chance, is it? A small chance is a chance. We're going to need fresh eyes on this.
This case has had half a dozen inquiries. No one's ever raised concerns about the conduct of the Forensic Science Service.
Well, there's your trouble. Look, in '93, the SIO said, do everything. Then the FSS bods come back and say, no point doing this, no chance with that, vanishingly small, and the SIO says, all right, then forget it. You know best.
There was a brief attack out in the open. The most likely reason for them finding nothing is there was nothing to find.
They didn't even examine the suspect's clothing for traces from Stephen. You can't find what you're not looking for.
What are you actually proposing, Clive?
I want to go private. The FSS didn't do what they were asked last time. They'll be defensive if they have to go over it again.
Hello. I'm Angela Gallup, strategic lead. And this is Ed Jarman, one of our forensic scientists.
Hello. DCI Clive Driscoll.
DI Sean Keep.
First things first, I want you to test for everything. Blood, hair, fibres. If there's a test or a process out there, I want it done. Now, you might know full well no point testing for this or that, but I'm going to ask you to do it anyway.
There have been huge advances in microspectroscopy since the 90s.
That's great. But before we get into that, it'd be grateful if you signed this memorandum confirming that the forensic review will be police-led.
I don't think I've ever had to sign one of these before.
No, it's something I came up with, yeah. I'll be carrying the can on this one.
We don't want to repeat the mistakes of the last forensic investigation.
You're saying about the tests?
Yes, looking at the FSS reports, I mean, the obvious omission is a Fadibus press test. Sorry, that's an alpha amylase test. Saliva.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, after what you're doing, be lost on me. But I want you to do it anyway.
We do need to bear in mind that this was a brief attack. I don't want to overpromise. But as we say, every contact leaves a trace.
Thank you. Right. They weren't excited enough.
Seemed keen to get going to me.
It's that brief attack line. It lowers expectations. I mean, he was attacked by 5 lads, for Christ's sakes. What's brief times 5? It's not brief, is it? I just got to bring it to life for them. It's a technical reconstruction, so no need for amateur dramatics. Sean here's going to stand in for one of the attackers. You all right with that, Theo?
Yeah, sure. I remember the case. Well, I don't remember it, obviously. I was only a kid.
Yeah, you were, weren't you?
Did I say the wrong thing?
No, it's just, it's been a long wait, hasn't it? For them. Right, well, Stephen's body was covered in bruises and abrasions from being kicked and punched. There were 2 stab wounds, both about 5 inches each, on the right collarbone and the left shoulder. We're going to go through each of the witness statements in turn, work out the consistencies, and see if we can work out how the injuries fit. So you come at him from this direction. Stephen's hand turns, and as they surround him, he goes under. Yeah, on your right side. Yeah, that matches the position for the entry wound. And witnesses say a punch was thrown, a kick that didn't land, then Stephen tries to wriggle free. This is when the second stab wound might have been sustained. No, overarm, like you're bowling. Yeah. Go. Not long enough. You got through less than half the injuries. He's got abrasions here, and here on the left side, and he's got entry wounds on the left and the right. So somewhere he's flipped. There had to be more blows. Go. The result. Good lad. You all right there, Sean? Bit warm? You okay, Theo?
Yeah. Just, you know. I just really hope you know them, Gov. That's all.
That wasn't brief. In anyone's book, that is an intense, relatively prolonged assault.
Our estimate is 25 to 30 seconds.
The first investigation described it as a brief attack, and that's haunted us ever since. I mean, that phrase has been as good as an alibi to the murderers.
There must have been a very large amount of contact, in fact. I'm thinking about the attacker's trousers. Just looking at the video. Stephen was on the ground. They must have had to kick him to keep him down. And there are so many opportunities for fibre transfer.
And if there were multiple blows after the stabbing, then there's potential for a lot more droplet dispersal.
And the rips in Stephen's clothing, that's a potential site for... This opens up a lot of interesting avenues, but there's one problem. The Forensic Science Service.
I told them to send you everything.
Yes, well, they didn't. They withheld their paperwork on the grounds that they're commercially sensitive.
I will give you 48 hours. Then I'm getting a Section 1 warrant and I'm seizing my exhibits.
They're civil servants. You can't get a warrant against the government, can you?
They're interfering with the administration of justice. I tell you, just trying to make a start on this case is like pulling teeth.
Okay, leave it with me.
You're not from round here, are you?
Red fibres? Must be from the ambulance blanket. They're red, aren't they?
Thought of that. But these are a completely different colour under magnification, almost orange. We keep finding more of them on Stephen's outer garments.
What about Stephen's polo shirt? Can you test against that?
The polo shirt was under 2 other layers. I can't see how the fibres could transfer.
If the test can be done, I want it done.
You were right. The fibres are microscopically indistinguishable from Stephen's polo shirt.
So, back to your question, how did they get there? For Stephen's polo shirt to transfer fibres to the outside of his coat, they must have had high sheddability.
Well, I'm not sure that's a word, but yes. Remarkably high sheddability.
So those fibres could be...
On anything that touched Stephen's coat. It certainly helps to know what we're looking for.
So this is it. This is your final report.
Yes. And while we do not ultimately find the corruption allegations presented in the documentary to be credible, we do make several learning recommendations to the Metropolitan Police.
But you didn't actually interview Davidson.
As ex-Detective Sergeant Davidson is no longer a serving officer, we couldn't compel him to cooperate. At any rate, we were unable to find any documents to corroborate Mr. Putnam's claims.
This was an investigation into police corruption and cover-up. Surely you wouldn't expect officers to document their own malfeasances.
We found no evidence at all to suggest corruption. I know this is not the outcome you wanted, Mrs. Lawrence, but I am confident that Putnam was mistaken.
Well, I'm glad you're confident. Personally, I don't have much confidence in police officers investigating police officers.
19-year-old French au pair gave a witness statement but never called in.
Angela.
Your theory of sheddability was correct. These were found on Dobson's jacket, and these on Norris's trousers. Microscopically indistinguishable from Stephen's polo shirt.
You realise this is the first physical evidence linking any of the suspects with Stephen?
I think we can say your hunch has been vindicated.
So, you're telling me we've got a case?
Yes, I think you do.
I think it's time for us to speak to the family.
Looking ahead to tomorrow as that band of low-pressure lifts.
Hi, Mum. Oh, hi, Gino.
Were you working late again last night? When do you ever relax?
I've got a job to do.
Mum, you need time for yourself too, you know. You should think about putting yourself out there more.
I am out there and busy. I've got the centre, I've got fundraising and bursary applications.
Mum, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about, you know.
I mean, it's not like I'm hiding away, is it? I mean, I would like to have some company, but men don't seem to know how to approach me.
Mr. Lawrence, thank you so much for making the time, sir.
All right. You're just in time. I'm flying back to Jamaica tomorrow. I have a school visit this afternoon. I understand that you've been asked to carry out some kind of review of my son's case.
Well, given the progress we made, it's now full re-investigation. And I wasn't asked to. I volunteered, as it happens.
Progress?
Yes. I have to ask you to keep this to yourself, but we've found new evidence implicating several of the suspects.
What kind of evidence?
Forensic evidence. Fibres from Stephen's clothing have been found on the suspect's clothing.
Right. So I wasn't expecting this.
The forensic review's ongoing. I don't want you to get your hopes up, but this is the first time we've had actual physical evidence linking the suspects to your son.
And these suspects, you mean the same boys?
Yes, 4 members of the A Court gang.
Good. That's good news. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not really used to good news.
Well, you've waited a long time. Too long. I can only apologise for that.
You say you volunteered to take on my son's case?
I did, sir, yes.
Why you do that?
I think a young lad should be able to catch the bus home without being killed. I mean, if we can't solve a murder like Stephen's, what's the point of this?
Just do your best, officer. That's all we ever ask, you know? Just do your best for Stephen.
There's racism in every walk of life. Look, we have a candidate for London Mayor, Boris Johnson, who talks about pickaninnies with watermelon smiles. That's not bantam, that's racism.
I think Boris is right. This isn't about justice anymore. It's politically correct hysteria. We have Jean on the line.
I don't know why people give her a platform. I mean, it was, what, 15 years ago almost? Can't we move on?
So what do you think this is about?
Well, I think they could be about to tell us it's the end of the road.
What do you mean? That they'll close the investigation? Well, we won't accept that.
No, of course not.
Detective Chief Inspector Clive Driscoll has been leading a review of your son's case, and I am going to ask him to provide an update. This is in confidence, of course.
Thank you. First of all, we reviewed the forensics, and we believe we found new evidence linking Stephen with several suspects. Now, obviously, this is not a real person, obviously. Sorry. Obviously. What this is the distribution of fibres from Stephen's clothing. Some of the red fibres from his T-shirt have been found on the clothes of some of the suspects.
And they are definitely from his...
Red polo top.
That's the one, Mark. Yes.
So this is exciting news.
You said suspects. Who are these suspects?
Oh, yes, sorry. So far, we've found fibres that link Dobson, Norris, and both the A-Courts.
The same names I gave to a detective who was in your shoes in 1993. The names he didn't even look at. You know, every few years, I get called into these meetings to be told about the new leads you're pursuing, but I gave you leads. I gave you the names 13 years ago and nothing was done.
Well, that is what we're here to rectify.
But why does it need to be rectified? Why has it taken 13 years?
Building a case is a complex process. Often it's...
Excuse me, if I may. Mrs. Lawrence, I don't have the answers to all your questions. Mistakes were made. Some of the mistakes, I can see how they were made. There were mistaken assumptions made about the nature of the attack. I want to start from scratch and correct those mistakes. Other mistakes, I can't explain them. You know, there were inexcusable errors that meant that we failed in our duty to your family and to Stephen. But this is my case now. And I promise you, I won't rest until I arrest your son's killers. So will you trust me?
Trust has to be earned, Mr. Driscoll.
You started off a bit.
Yeah.
But she came round.
We'll see. Got a lot of ground to make up, haven't we?
Oh, that was surprising. Bit of a character, isn't he, DCI Driscoll? What did you think of him?
We'll see.
My old man said follow the van and don't dilly-dally on the way. Off with the cart with me old life in it. I followed on with me old cock linnet. I dillied and dallied and dillied. Lost my way and don't know where to roam. Well, you can't trust a special like an old-time copper when you can't find your way home.
New state-of-the-art development in forensic science. He told me not to tell nobody, but it's all here.
Will you trust me? He actually asked me that. You know what this is? Same old Met.
What?
Here today. This building will be a nurturing space, but it will also be a space of high expectation. We still have an uphill battle against the low expectations society has for Black children. So this will be a space where we see your gifts and expect excellence. And when I see the work you young people are already achieving, your creativity and ambition, that to me is the best way we can remember and celebrate Stephen. Thank you. I've called the insurance company already. Mr. Driscoll, I take it you're not here about the broken glass.
What happened?
This is not the first time. Some people don't like what we're trying to do. So?
I wanted to straighten things out. The business with the newspapers. I'm confident the leak didn't come from my team. Oh, I've got some donuts. Thought maybe...
I'm glad you're confident, but I'm not. Because to me, this is the same old Met, so concerned with publicity that you'll jeopardize the investigation for a good headline.
Mrs. Lawrence, I was as furious as you were when I read the headlines. The story.
Do something for me. Read these. Out loud.
If you don't like this country, get in your canoe and go back to where you came from. I mean...
No, go on.
You ungrateful black bitch. Look, this is a hate crime.
I get this rubbish every time Stephen's in the paper. I made the choice to fight for my son rather than keeping my mouth shut, and I pay a price for that. But I resent paying for the Met's publicity stunts.
I know we haven't done much to inspire your confidence over the years, but this is my case now. We've got a real chance here. The forensics are promising.
But if there are people in the Met working against you, you have a problem. You need to ask yourself why there are people in your organization who don't want you to succeed.
First, did we get the statement from the witness?
This is one of the most sensitive investigations on the Met's books. And we can't even get a door that closes.
I've been onto estates.
We want to nail this case, don't we? Right, well, there are people out there who don't want us to nail it. People out there who don't want us to succeed where they failed. People who want to make excuses, blame the victims. Well, I can't do anything about those people, but I tell you, if I find that anyone in this office has been leaking stuff to the press, I will deal with them. Thoroughly. From now on, no paperwork left lying around. We're all accountable.
They were all as gutted as we were, Clive.
Incoming forensic reports, you and me only. Keep them in the safe. Anyone else, as and when required.
They closed Roland's school and asked if we wanted the memorial plaque before they knocked it down.
You keep going.
It's a life sentence, Neville. I've accepted that. All I can do is try to make my anger productive, use it to bring about change.
But it changed me, you know? That's the problem. It's stolen my memories. I can't see Stephen smile. I can't hear his laugh without thinking of the killers and feeling so much hatred. I prayed so hard for the strength to forgive.
Forgiveness? I mean, have they shown any remorse?
No. No. That's the problem.
Then it's not your problem. Forgiveness is not yours to give. They have to ask. They have to atone. Without that, dangerous, man.
How you mean?
Let's the country off the hook, man. Let's people think that we can do without justice, without accountability. When Roland was killed, the BMP called his murderers heroes of the white race.
I remember that.
Right. But when we protested, it was us they called extremists. It was our children that the police harassed and not the racists. And now they want us to forgive and move on so that they can carry on and pretend that all is well in England. No. Mm-mm. When England finally gets angry about black children being lynched in her streets, when the police and the government say enough is enough, maybe then I will let go my anger. But until we have real change, I'm not going to cheapen my son's life with forgiveness. Mm-mm.
I've made contact with most of the coppers from the scene that night, mostly retired now, and mostly none too thrilled to hear from me.
What about Dwayne Brooks?
He wants nothing to do with us. But I was sort of thinking, do we really need him? I mean, this case is going to rest on the forensics, yeah?
Forensics are slippery at eels. Get a scientist on the stand, half the jury will glaze over. We need them to hear Dwayne's story along with any other witnesses we can persuade to come forward. Give me the files from the kids on the estate again. They're our best hope at the minute. Louise? Clive Driscoll. I'm a detective investigating the murder of Stephen Lawrence.
I don't want to talk to you.
You did want to talk, though. You responded to the witness appeal in 1993. That took real guts.
No. Sorry.
5 minutes. Just a chat.
All right. But you're not coming in my flat. I wasn't from the area. I just used to see a boy off the estate.
That's how you knew the acorns.
Yeah. Knowing they've killed a boy having a secret like that, it was horrible. When I did tell the police, they didn't seem interested, so after that...
Yeah, well, after that, you didn't trust us.
Exactly. In the meantime, I was hearing things about David's dad.
Clifford Norris.
Yeah. People getting threatened and worse. I was 15. I was clueless, petrified.
Look, Louise, this isn't 1993. If you do the right thing, there won't be any repercussions. And we can protect you from the likes of Clifford Norris.
I'm not being rude. But if you haven't managed to catch those boys after all these years, why should I believe you can protect me?
Financial report about paying for the Olympics. I mean, just bizarre. I mean, I think Boris is, hoping one day to be leader of the Tory party and Prime Minister. And his party's never going to let him do that, any more than the Labour Party let me do it, you know. Too big a risk. So this is the best job he's ever going to have in politics. And one of us will do it. Don't devolve into
For goodness sake!
And the thing that shocked me most, every major man comes to there to say yes.
Excuse me?
That means
You've just hit my car? Excuse me, excuse me. Hey! No! 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 How much longer am I going to have to wait?
Someone will be with you in due course, madam.
Can you not check it out? Your colleague said 20 minutes an hour ago.
Name?
I don't know, they didn't.
No, your name. What's your name?
Doreen Lawrence.
I'm afraid at the moment all of our officers are currently busy on high priority calls.
This was a carjacking, surely that's high priority.
If you wouldn't mind waiting, I'm sure someone will be with you in due course.
Hold him now, there! You do it every time! Hello? What?
I'm sorry.
I want to speak to the officer in charge of Mrs. Lawrence's case.
Sorry, who are you?
DCI Driscoll, Specialist Crime Directorate.
Oh, sorry, Gov.
Quick as you like, son.
Yeah, of course.
You hurt. I can take you to A&E.
Oh, no, I'm fine. They didn't touch me, but I left everything in the car. My wallet, I'll have to cancel all my cards.
Sort it all out. Don't worry.
Right, the duty inspector will be here in a moment. Can I get you a cup of tea in the meantime?
I'm fine.
Yes, please, Sergeant. 2 teas and some bickies if you can rustle them up. Sugar, Mrs. L?
I'll just take milk, thank you. As a peace offering, it was appreciated, but as a cup of tea...
Shocking. They'll never make Inspector like that. Did he put the milk in the mug with the tea bag still in it?
Ugh. I'll make us a proper cuppa.
Yeah, I'll do that. You've had a shock.
I'm not a damsel in distress, Mr. Driscoll.
Mr. Driscoll is what my teachers called me at school before they gave me 6 of the best. Clive will do, I think.
OK. Thank you, Clive, but I'll manage. We've had to turn this house into a fortress. There's a cost to speaking out.
I can see that. I have to say, though, you ain't half good at it. Speaking out. I reckon there must be a lot of powerful people who have nightmares about getting the hairdryer treatment from Doreen Lawrence.
Well, I didn't plan for it. I thought the killers would just be arrested. Never expected getting justice to be my job.
No, well, it shouldn't have been.
But here we are, 15 years later. Do you have children?
Yeah, 5. 4 boys and 1 girl. The oldest is in Afghanistan, as it happens. Yeah, Marine.
You must worry about him.
Sick to my stomach. Yeah, it's funny, when I was away at Hendon for basic training, he'd come up and he'd cling onto my leg. Don't go, Daddy. And now the shoe's on the other foot. I have to stop myself clinging onto him every time he ships out. You know, I can't even begin to imagine the strength it must take to keep fighting all these years.
You know, sometimes I really do feel like giving up. But then I sleep and I dream of him. And, you know, he's so sad and angry at not being alive. It's horrible. So I keep going. It's not about feeling strong. I don't feel strong. I just don't have a choice.
From London's newsroom at 7 o'clock, helping you breathe more easily, London gets a new low-emission zone, how immigrants should be taught how to queue in shops, and why Cameron's beating ground in the power states. Good morning,
Birdie, I need you to get one of your DCs to track down Clifford Norris.
Old man Norris? Why?
A witness, Birdie. What else?
These were found on Norris's trousers. 2 hairs. The mitochondrial DNA is a 1,000-to-1 match with Stephen.
His hair? That's a significant find, surely.
Well, 1,000-to-1 isn't as strong as the fibers, but it's corroborative. It adds detail to the picture.
Good. Let's hope there's more where that came from.
It is good, but we need to prove how it got there.
We've had a couple of breakthroughs on the case, but we're looking at a 15-year game of pass the parcel when it comes to exhibits. We've had internal reviews, external reviews, a private prosecution. The defence are going to be looking for any opportunity to cry contamination. I need to know every time anyone touched, moved, opened, or even glanced at an exhibit.
So, hang on, you're talking about forensic evidence?
New and compelling forensic evidence. But for it to be worth anything, we need to prove there's absolutely no opportunity for Stephen's clothing to have contact with a suspect's clothing after the fact. I need someone I can rely on to do that. And that's you.
All right. But I was working at Woolwich when Stephen was killed. I remember the atmosphere.
Let's be honest, Del, back in '93, the A Court gang would have fitted in better with the Metropolitan Police than young Stephen.
I guess what I'm asking is, but is this real? Does the brass actually want us to solve this murder?
We're not doing this to please the Metropolitan Police. Lawrence family have lost a son. We're murder police, we work for them.
Makes a change, have the police call a meeting instead of us demanding one.
Jocelyn, are we the first here?
I think so.
Jocelyn Coburn?
Yes.
And Neville Lawrence?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
Neville?
Barry? Imran?
The forensic review is ongoing, and we've made another significant find. Human hair strands have been identified on 2 of the suspects' clothing.
Stephen's hair.
We think so. It's a 1,000-to-1 DNA match.
Is that enough?
Are we talking about bringing charges?
Not yet. We want to build the strongest case possible. And to achieve that, we need solid witnesses as well as forensic evidence. Previous investigations have treated some crucial people badly. Dwayne Brooks being an example.
They treat that boy like a prime suspect.
Yes, we let him down. But when it comes to trial, we'll need him.
So you think there will be a trial?
We're increasingly confident, but as it's a double jeopardy case, the CPS will want to consult the family on re-prosecution.
As in, do we want a prosecution?
It sounds like a daft question.
There's no question.
There's never been any question about our commitment. The question is whether the Metropolitan Police are actually going to support the prosecution this time around.
We've been here twice before, you know? We don't want to go through that disappointment again.
I know. You have my word.
It's not your word I'm worried about. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. I'm still worried about corruption.
Look, when it comes to previous investigations, I like answers to a lot of questions. Will I get those answers? Probably not. All I can say is, I'm the SIO now, and I've no intention of letting anyone interfere with my investigation.
DC Derek Reed calling. We're trying to establish the chain of custody for exhibits in the Stephen Lawrence case. And I have some questions regarding his clothing. On the night of the murder, you brought Stephen's clothing back to the station unsealed to Elton.
No, not to Elton. I mean, they was drenched with blood, so I took them to Southwark. They had a drying room there. They were sealed once they were dry.
So during that process, there's a lot of wet blood, the bags aren't sealed. Could you have transferred blood to the outside of the evidence bag?
Yeah, I mean, I wore gloves, but it's possible.
You seized Dobson's jacket on 7th of May. Was it bagged at the scene?
Yes.
Right. Only in your notebook, you made an entry about sealing exhibits back at Plumstead Nick later that day.
Well, I mean, I would have followed best practice.
We're just trying to fill any gaps. If you can help us, great. If you can't remember, understandable. We're on the same side here. So when Stephen's clothes arrived from Southwark, did they go into a secure evidence store?
No, it wasn't an evidence store, really. It was just an unused cell.
Well, so there was some kind of shelving, partitioning?
Yeah, unfortunately not, no. As I remember it, Stephen's clothing was stored on the bed.
The bed?
Well, yes. I mean, like I said, it was a cell.
Sean.
Clive, Birdie's found a witness. Follow up from a canvas a few years back. I think you might want some FaceTime with this one. I'll see you back there.
OK, keep him comfortable. I'll be there in about half an hour.
Well, I'd had a drink in Woolwich, and then I was walking home to where I was lodging, and I was almost at the well all roundabout, and that's where I saw, you know, the bother.
What did you see exactly?
I saw David Norris, Gary Dobson, and the two A-courts laying into the black kid, Lawrence.
How many drinks had you had?
I don't know, 6, 7 pints, a few chases.
So, you were drunk?
I was pissed. I weren't blind.
You weren't local, so how do you know they were?
A bloke I worked with pointed her out to me a few weeks before, told me to watch out for them. Said they were aggy, carried knives and that, you know.
And can you give us his details, the bloke who pointed them out to you?
I can do. I don't know if he'll talk to you. I ain't spoke to him in 10 years.
Why didn't you come forward at the time?
Well, no one asked me, did they? So...
Well, we were on the radio, on Crime Watch, in the papers. We were begging for witnesses.
Well, if you want the truth, I'm a racist, so I weren't losing any sleep over him.
So why talk now?
They came and asked me. I told them what I knew. I ain't afraid of the A-courts.
He was drunk.
On the other hand, he's a fully paid-up racist, which is helpful. No reason to lie. If we can find the other workmate, get him to confirm he pointed out the gang, firm up the ID, we might finally have a usable witness.
My anxiety is that some of this forensic evidence, though compelling, is not exactly new.
What do you mean?
Advice we've had from legal counsel is that it isn't good enough to call evidence new because we've just found it if we really should have found it before. Even though your tests have found traces of Stephen on the suspect's clothing, it was more difficult, but not impossible, to conduct this kind of analysis in '93.
Well, that can't afford another Stephen Lawrence trial to collapse.
What are you saying?
What I've always said, that I doubt this review will produce anything strong enough for a retrial. You don't even have a decent witness.
We're working on that.
It isn't enough. I am sorry, Clive, but we need more than this for the CPS.
All right, then. We'll just have to find more, won't we?
I've got some more bad news, I'm afraid. Tracked down our racist workmate.
Don't tell me.
Denies all knowledge. Says he didn't know the suspects.
Everyone in Eltham knew the A-Court gang.
Exactly. But he's not playing ball.
Hello. Hello. Oh, your nose do that. As you can see, Clifford Norris is no threat to you. Or anyone else, for that matter. He's living in a bedsit, pickling his liver on the dole. Won't be buying many coppers with his gyro, I promise you that.
I'm sorry. I thought it over, but I've got her to think about, you know?
Louise, he's not a player anymore. He can't hurt you, but you can make a difference to the Lawrence family. You could give them justice.
But why me? Everyone knows who done it. I want to help, but I can't. I'm sorry.
I was so sure she was going to do the right thing. I must be losing my touch.
It's the Eltham omerta, isn't it? Here. Got this in today. Serious organised crime agency. Jamie Acort's apparently a regular guest in a drug wiretap they're running. They're classing him as a high flight risk. Bags packed, ready to go, they reckon.
Christ.
Can we request surveillance?
They won't even pay for a bolt for the door.
If they're as connected as Soccer reckon, it isn't just the flight risk. They could intimidate witnesses.
We limit case conferences. Think about who actually needs to be there. We can't afford another leak.
I look around here today and see the Prime Minister, the Home Secretary, the Archbishop of Canterbury. It's an honour to see you all here, of course it is. But I wish you weren't here. I wish we didn't need to be here, but we do. We have to keep Stephen's memory alive because we still don't have justice. For me, for my family, the pain of our loss remains undiminished after 15 years. The campaign for justice for Stephen continues, as must the wider fight to combat racism, discrimination, and prejudice.
Stephen was my benchmark. I was always trying to reach his level, and annoying as it was, I was never quite as good. He's made me aspire to be the best person I can be, and I can't thank him enough for that. I loved my big brother. He was killed by hate, but I believe that love is stronger than hate. That in the end, love will conquer hate.
Dears Birdsall speaking. Okay. Yeah, I'll get him to call you.
Excuse me, I'll just get rid of this. Don't mind. Can't speak right now.
You need to call forensics, ASAP.
It's Clive Driscoll.
We found Stephen's blood.
What? Found it where?
We found Stephen's blood on Gary Dobson's jacket.
Dear God.
Hello, Clive.
Oh, Mrs. L.
You look very smart.
Well, I do try. I have to say, it's an honour. That was a beautiful service.
And the case? How's everything going?
Well, I mean, it's going well.
Good.
There. You see that? That discoloration there is the blood of Stephen Lawrence. It's on the back of the collar, which fits. When you stab someone as you pull the knife back, there's a little judder as you reach the end of the trajectory, so any droplets of wet blood often hit the back of the clothing.
And the key thing here is that that isn't a flake. It's saturated, stained into the fabric, which means the blood was still wet when it landed there during the attack.
So this is A1, Rolls-Royce evidence.
Indeed, with a cherry on top.
Is it too good?
How can evidence be too good?
As in, is it so good, it should have been found a long time ago?
Amplified fragment length polymorphism forms of analysis weren't available during earlier investigations. We couldn't have confidently confirmed this was Stephen's blood.
Right, well, the only thing that I understood there was we couldn't have done this before. And that's all I need. This is new and compelling evidence.
This is getting serious now, isn't it? If we're relying on forensics, we better be confident about the chain of custody.
Hello?
DCI Driscoll.
Who's this?
We're running a piece on the developments of the Stephen Lawrence case. Wondered if you wanted to comment. On or off, your call.
I need to know your source.
Of course you do. So, is it going to be enough then, this new DNA evidence?
You cannot run this story. We're dealing with flight risks.
You're serious? Look, we got off on the wrong foot here. You give me an angle that works for you.
All right, I've tried to appeal to your sense of civic duty. How about this? If you run this story, I'll hold a lovely big press conference with refreshments and everything. And I will name you personally as having sabotaged the Stephen Lawrence murder investigation.
Afternoon. Sorry to keep you waiting. Mark Ellison, QC. Is everyone here? Do we have our forensic people?
Yeah, that'll be Ed and Angela.
A lot seems to rest on the fact that this bloodstain was soaked into the fabric.
Oh, yes. The nature of the staining would suggest the blood was uncoagulated, fresh when it got there.
These tests that you do to the clothing, do any of them involve moisture?
Well, we did use the fat-adipose amylase test to detect saliva. That does involve a dampened paper press test.
So if I was the defense, I would be saying the blood stain was the result of contamination and only soaked into the weave of the fabric when it was dampened.
I think that's a highly improbable hypothesis.
If you say that on the stand, we've lost. An improbable hypothesis is reasonable doubt.
If I may, with forensic evidence such as this, we're dealing with degrees of probability.
No, not good enough. I need you to go away and prove the absolute impossibility of this blood stain coming from any sequence of events other than the jacket being at the fatal attack.
Right. Well, we'll go back and review.
Good.
Del, I thought that was you.
You're right, Jenny. It's been years.
Yeah, you still with Trident?
No, I'm actually on the Stephen Lawrence case, as it happens.
You? No way. Part of Dorian Lawrence's private police force.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, come on, you must be pulling your hair out on that job. I mean, it's not like anyone wants to face the actual truth about St. Stephen.
Which is what?
Well, it was a gang thing, wasn't it? Stabbed with his own knife after he tried to rip off a dealer. Everyone knows.
Well, I'll tell you what then, Jenny. You send everyone across to us. We'll happily take their statements. DC Derek Reed calling again. Yeah, I had a question about the tape seals. Yeah, you said they were checked every time, right? Yeah, so how was that recorded?
In 1998, you resealed a couple of our exhibits. Yep. Can you explain the deterioration on the packaging?
Just to clarify, you're saying that when the suspect's clothing arrived in Eltham, Stephen's clothing had already been sent off for analysis? What date was that?
We've tracked every single exhibit since 1993. We know where every item was at one time. For example, LH5, Dobson's jacket, was also handed over to Kent Police on 23rd of June 1997. It remains sealed and in a cupboard with other clothing exhibits.
Tricky. It's all very comprehensive, very impressive. But for now, what's the headline? What we're looking at in terms of opportunities for cross-contamination?
The headline is this. The thing the first investigation took the biggest kicking for, that 2-week delay between the murder and the arrests, now it's our saving grace.
You've lost me.
None of the suspects' clothing was seized and brought to the station until 7th of May. Stephen's exhibits were sent for forensic examination a week before that. Stephen's and the suspects' exhibits were never at the same station at the same time.
So opportunities for cross-contamination back in '93 were...
Vanishingly small.
Clive, Dwayne is in the paper with the man who ran in for mayor.
Boris?
No. The other one, the liberal, ex-police officer. Dwayne campaigning for him.
Oh, yeah, Brian Paddock. I remember him from my Brixton days.
Well, there you go then. Well, maybe he can put in a good word for you.
I really, really appreciate you making time, Mr. Brooks.
Brian said you were one of the good guys. It's the only reason why I'm here.
Thing is, we're making headway with Stephen's case.
Really? 15 years of headway. What do we have to show for it?
I'm sorry, we let you down.
No, sorry. You didn't let me down. You tried to stitch me up. Okay, you arrested me for protesting the murder of my friend whilst his killers walked free.
I am sorry, Dwayne. You were treated appallingly. The thing is, I need your evidence to lock up the bastards that killed your friend.
I already gave my evidence. I was a scared kid. Okay, I knew that the A courts could come after me. But I still identified Neil Acorn and Luke Knight.
You were brave. You stood up for your friend.
But it didn't matter, though, did it? Because no one believed me. You know, I did everything the police asked of me. And they still acted like I was hiding something. It was unfathomable to them that a black man could just be an innocent victim.
Look, I won't ask you to trust the police. Why should you? But I am going to charge these men. And when I do, it will rest on forensics. Cold, hard science. There'll be a lot less wriggle room for anyone who doesn't want to see justice for Stephen.
So why do you need me?
Because forensics alone won't be enough. You were there. You can bring it to life for them.
So we made 12 attempts to reconstitute blood fragments using Fadipus substrate.
Can you imagine that you're trying to explain this to a 5-year-old?
Sorry. We took tiny samples of Stephen's dried blood and applied different liquids, but the samples became jelly-like. The blood wouldn't have been able to soak into the weave of the fabric, even if it was rehydrated.
So?
My conclusion is Stephen's blood was fresh when it soaked into the jacket.
Which means that Dobson's jacket must have been present at the murder scene.
Yes.
Well, it's music to my ears. Let's hope that this is enough to get us over the line with the CPS.
Clive, Detective Superintendent Jill Bailey will be joining us for the meeting.
Right.
Given the level of scrutiny the Met can expect going forward, I thought your team would benefit from Jill's support as reviewing superintendent.
I've never had a reviewing superintendent before. Never heard of one, actually.
Yes, well, this is a unique case.
What will you be reviewing, Mark? Me?
I hope I can provide some guidance when it comes to the more politically delicate aspects of the case.
Over the past 2 years, we have followed a series of significant evidential leads in the investigation into Stephen's murder. The Director of Public Prosecutions has now reviewed this evidence and provided us with an update.
Mr. and Mrs. Lawrence, Stuart, I won't beat about the bush. The fact is, we have found Stephen's blood on the jacket of one of the suspects. We've also found hair and clothing fibres belonging to Stephen on the clothing of several suspects. As a result of this, the DPP has agreed that we can charge Gary Dobson and David Norris for Stephen's murder. Hope to execute the arrests within the week. I know this has been a long road for your family.
I know this is good news, but... Yes. We've waited a long time for this. But that's 2. There were 5.
The forensic evidence against Dobson and Norris is stronger than what we have against the other suspects. The DPP doesn't want to endanger the stronger cases in a joint prosecution.
So they get away with it again?
No. We take down Dobson and Norris first, but this is an ongoing investigation. I haven't forgotten about the others.
If there's a disparity in the evidence, then separate prosecutions is sensible.
Okay, if that's the best way forward, then I'm okay with that.
You know, when we first met, you promised me you'd do your best for Stephen. Thank you for keeping that promise.
Well, thank you both. I don't take the trust you place in us lightly.
You understand that following these arrests, there's likely to be renewed attention on your family?
We can't deal with that.
We're ready.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just what I should, he's had a long wait.
Today's the day.
Today's the day. Let's get to work. The world and his dog knows that for the last 5 years we've been investigating young Stephen's murder. One of our suspects is a definite flight risk, and if he gets a whiff of what we're up to, he'll be on the first flight out to Belarus. So, timeline.
The targets themselves are in 2 separate locations, so we need to synchronise their arrests. Number 1 is Gary Dobson.
How are we going to find him?
Yeah. He's in Belmarsh doing a 5-year stretch for trafficking 350 k's worth of cannabis. To preserve the secrecy of the operation, we won't execute the arrest until he's out of earshot of the screws. Norris, bit more difficult. No fixed address. He's been crashing at mates' houses. Currently residing in a room above a pub in Greenwich. Once we pick him up, we take him to Sutton Neck, where there's a video link to Camberwell Magistrates Court so we can get proceedings underway as quickly as possible.
So the boys at Sutton Neck do know, then?
Glad you asked me that. Welcome to Operation Sirwoy, a highly sensitive action against a Tamil drug gang operating out of East Ham.
Well, we had to tell him something. Operation Sirwoy's targets are Garutitha Dobaranga and Daresh Natar.
GD and DN for sure. Any questions?
Sirwoy?
After Sir Roy Hodgson, who took Fulham FC all the way to the UEFA Cup final. You can be as indiscreet as you like about Operation Sirwoy, because, of course, it doesn't actually exist.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to ask you all to hand in your phones for the duration of this operation.
Today, you'll be going out to arrest Gary Dobson and David Norris on suspicion of the murder of Stephen Lawrence. Good luck.
You coming coming with? Thought you'd hang back here.
If this goes wrong, I'm going to answer for it myself.
What's this all about?
Police! Open the door! Hands behind your back. Stand still.
David Norris, I'm arresting you on suspicion of the murder of Stephen Lawrence. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm
Your
you.
defence if you not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
This again, sweet. For a minute there, I thought you were saying serious.
The riot squad's a bit much, isn't it? Feel sorry for you. Wasting your time, to be honest, mate. Could be out there chasing real criminals.
Book him in, quick as you like. There's another one coming in a minute, and I don't want us to meet.
So I suppose you won't be needing the Tamil translator, then? Mate?
I'd like you to tell me how Stephen Lawrence's hair was found on the jeans seized from your bedroom on the 7th of May 1993.
No comment.
I'm asking you to account for the presence of Stephen Lawrence's blood on a grey jacket found in your possession at the time of your arrest.
No comment.
Is there any account that you can give us right now so that we can go away and prove your innocence?
No comment.
David Norris, you were charged that on the 22nd of April 1993 you did murder Stephen Lawrence contrary to common law. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention now something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you have any response, Gary, to the charge of murder?
Nothing, whatever, no comment.
Done?
Done.
Hello?
Mr. Lawrence, it's Clive.
Clive?
Oh, sorry, I always forget the time difference. Is it?
It's 5 in the morning, brother. Go on.
We arrested and remanded them this morning. We're going to trial.
Thank you, Clive. Yeah. Thank you.
After a lifetime of waiting, the parents of Stephen Lawrence were in court today for the start of the trial of two men accused of stabbing the black teenager to death.
What forensic scientists found on clothes, including a bomber jacket and jeans, alleged to belong to the accused Gary Dobson and David Norris, is at the centre of this trial. The question facing the jury is how the fibres and fragments got there.
The prosecution case against Gary Dobson and David Norris is that they participated in a joint attack on Stephen Lawrence. This was a group of like-minded young white men who acted together in the execution of this attack as one on seeing two young black men. The only discernible reason for the attack was the color of their skin. Members of the jury, on the night of his murder, Stephen was wearing a red polo shirt. Fibers from that shirt were found on the clothing of both Dobson and Norris. And a human hair matching Stephen's DNA was found on Norris's jeans, and a speck of Stephen's blood was found on the collar of Dobson's jacket.
The charge brought against Gary Dobson is based on unreliable evidence. At the time Stephen Lawrence was being attacked, Gary Dobson was at home at his parents' house. He's innocent of this charge. Now, the papers in this case are voluminous, but the actual physical evidence upon which this charge is based wouldn't fill a teaspoon. The truth is that in the 13 years preceding this apparent forensic breakthrough, there were manifold opportunities for blood and fibers from Stephen Lawrence to make their way onto Gary Dobson's clothing.
Members of the jury, the simple fact is David Norris was not in Eltham on the night of 22nd April 1993. The clothing seized from his home did not belong to him. He is entirely innocent of...
Sure. Yeah, Dwayne. It's Dwayne.
What about it? He's here, isn't he? He's on soon.
He's here. But his dad died.
Oh, God.
He passed away last night.
We'll just have to reschedule, won't we? Let me talk to him.
Thank you. I want to do this for Steve.
And you will. But, take a few days, eh? I'm sure we can shuffle things around.
I'm here now.
It's amazing that you are, and we're grateful. But this is going to be tough.
No. They've been let off the hook for long enough. I'm ready. I heard a voice from my left, so I turned. These guys were running across the road. One of them shouts, what, nigger? I was afraid, so I ran. I shouted to Steve to run. I thought he was just behind me, but when I turned around,
The jury should be aware that Mr. Brooks' father sadly passed away last night. He has chosen to give evidence as planned. If you require a break at any point, Mr. Brooks.
I'm okay. The group converged on Steve. When I looked back, I saw one of the guys had a weapon. He ran straight into him, and then... wham. Just like that.
What was the approximate size of the weapon you saw?
It's about this big, and it was shiny. But then Steve jumped up, so I was relieved. He caught up, and we were running. We were both running. But then he kept asking me, what's wrong? What's wrong with me? That's when I saw blood was streaming out from around his neck, through his jacket. I'm sorry. He was running. And Steve's blood is dripping on the floor.
Mr. Brooks, would you like to take a break?
I can deal with this quite quickly.
No. I want to say what happened. He kept saying to me, "What's happened to me?" And I told him to just keep running because I was frightened that the guys would come back round. He then said to me, one last time, he said, "Dwayne," and his voice was all funny. And that's when he fell at the tree.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. No further questions.
Mr. Brooks? You did him proud.
I hope it works. It's time we had some justice.
Come on, Mum.
He was asking questions.
Who was?
Your brother. He was scared. He wanted to know what was happening, and I wasn't there to answer him.
Mom.
I wasn't there to hear him, to comfort him.
The motive for the murder of the London teenager Stephen Lawrence was set out in court today. It was, said the prosecution, the colour of his skin. The jury heard how he was swallowed up by a gang of white youths who had shouted a racist insult. Our crime correspondent John Clements was at the Stephen Lawrence trial and heard today's evidence.
You searched Mr. Dobson's bedroom on the 7th of May, seizing a cardigan and a jacket, exhibit LH5. Where did you find the jacket?
It was in the wardrobe, hanging up with some other clothes. I took it off the coat hanger, folded it up, and put it in an exhibits bag.
Miss Holden, in your role liaising with the victim's family, you visited the Lawrence household on the 23rd of April, 1993, the day after Stephen died. Then again on the 25th, the 27th, and the 28th of April, with a final trip on the 29th of April. Is that correct?
That is correct.
When you searched Mr. Dobson's bedroom on the 7th of May, did you not think to yourself, just a minute? I was in the Lawrence household just last week. It might not be a good idea for me to be at the two different scenes.
It was over a week later, and I was wearing different clothes. Also, I do wash fairly frequently. I didn't think there was any risk of contamination.
You're absolutely sure? And can you swear on oath that you didn't wear any of the same clothing?
Positive.
We're talking about events almost 18 years ago. How can you be so sure?
I knew I was going into a search, so I chose clothes that, if they got soiled or whatever, didn't matter.
We support Mr. Roberts. The jury has been sufficiently educated on the clear opportunities for contamination.
That didn't go too well today, did it?
Defence is just doing their job. So in doubt. Long ways to go yet. The jury only want to know one thing. How did Stephen's blood get there? In the end, they can't answer that question. But we can. Tomorrow.
I hope you're right.
Mr. Jarman, you and your team carried out microscopic analysis of the suspect's clothing. Could you tell the court what you found?
We made a number of finds. There were fibres matching Stephen's polo shirt found on Gary Dobson's jacket, and fibres matching Stephen Lawrence's green trousers and red polo shirt were found on David Norris's sweatshirt. Fibres that matched the cuff and wristband of Stephen's jacket found on Gary Dobson's cardigan. The two hairs found on David Norris's trousers were a 1,000 to 1 mitochondrial DNA match to Stephen Lawrence. A bloodstain matching Stephen's was found on the collar of Gary Dobson's jacket.
The defence have repeatedly raised concerns regarding cross-contamination. In your view, is it possible that the blood staining to Mr. Dobson's jacket could have occurred later, at Eltham Police Station, for example?
The nature of the staining, the fact that the blood has been absorbed into the fibres of the jacket, indicates that the blood was still liquid when it made contact with the jacket.
You said earlier that the blood, where are we now, must have been wet when it was transferred to the jacket. Is it possible that blood fragments were moistened during the course of the tests you and your team carried out on the jacket?
Well, this was a hypothesis we explored. In the event, we discovered that exposing the fragments to moisture caused them to become gel-like but not liquid. And this did not produce a comparable stain. It couldn't soak into the weave of the fabric.
Isn't it true that different blood samples taken from the same individual can have different compositions, different characteristics?
Well, yes, there are a number.
Simple yes or no will suffice. And the rigorous tests you carried out, exposing blood samples to moisture, they have not actually been carried out with the specific blood sample on the collar of the jacket.
Well, no, that wouldn't be possible.
But that does mean, does it not, that we cannot completely exclude the possibility that the stain was produced by your own testing.
In terms of likelihood, the probability...
It wouldn't be right to exclude it, would it?
We haven't excluded it. However, it is a statistical impossibility. The probability is so low as to bear no mention in any reasonable, rational argument, which leaves us with the more viable conclusion...
Thank you, Mr. Jump. Thank you.
That the wearer of the jacket was involved in the attack on Stephen Lawrence.
Is this right? The defence are trying to stop us from showing surveillance footage of Dobson and Norris.
Yeah, they claim that character evidence isn't relevant and could prejudice the jury.
But this is a racially motivated murder. Whether those two are racist or not is very relevant.
That's exactly what Mr. Ellison is arguing. Let's hope the judge sees sense. But for now, all we can do is wait. On the bright side, Mr. Jarman didn't do too badly yesterday, did he?
Not what the papers are saying.
I told her not to look at them.
I wanted to see what the jury are reading.
Jury aren't allowed to read the papers.
Oh, please.
Stephen Lawrence trial. Forensics do not fit. That's not right. The defence haven't proven any contamination. I mean, where are they getting this stuff? Excuse me. Excuse me. You in court 15?
No, I'm 16, the Lawrence case. Your case.
You sure? Because from what you've been writing up, I swear you're watching a different trial. I mean, anyone reading it would think the prosecution was about to collapse. Where are you getting your information from?
To be honest, we're getting most of it from your press office. They seem pessimistic.
The Met feeding you this.
What are you doing?
I think I know where all the negative coverage is coming from.
Unbelievable.
It's how the brass work. They want to lower expectations in case it doesn't go our way.
Or maybe they don't want a conviction.
We're getting called back in. The judge said yes to the tapes.
Oh, that is a result. And now we get to cross-examine them.
How come?
Well, the defence aren't going to want that horror show to be the only impression the jury get of their clients. They'll have to put them on the stand.
He got me up, twisted it behind my back, started mucking about. And I had the standing knife in my pocket. I pulled it out, I bit the thing off, and I said, that'll do there, Mick, before I end up fucking cutting you. All fucking day he was getting on my nerves, Luke. I said, you tap me once more, you silly cunt, I'm gonna just fucking slice this down you.
I was going to kill myself. You know what I'd do? I'd go and kill every black cunt, every packy, every copper, every mug that's I know, I'm telling you, right? I'd go down Catford, places like that, I'm telling you, with 2 submachine guns. I'd take one of them, skin the black cunt alive, mate, torture him, set him alight. I'd blow the 2 legs and arms off and say, go on, swim home now.
The court has just watched footage filmed 17 years ago when you were a young man. We heard you frequently use racial slurs. How do you feel about that language?
Well, I think with that, I've always listened to hip-hop over the years, so I used to use the M-word.
We heard you threaten violence against a black colleague. Were you a violent man at that time?
No, not at all. All it was a bit of friendly banter, like workplace banter kind of thing. A bit of bravado.
Can you account for your whereabouts on the evening of the 22nd of April, 1993?
I was at home. I stayed in. I had some curry, played on the computer, and then later, about 11:30, I went to Neil and Jamie's house.
Why did you visit the Acourt brothers' house?
I was just visiting my mates. I wanted to borrow a Bob Marley CD off them.
So to confirm, at 10:40 p.m., the time of the attack on Stephen Lawrence, you were at home?
Yeah.
Gary, did you have anything to do with the events that led to the death of Stephen Lawrence?
No, I didn't.
Mr. Dobson, how can you account for a jacket stained with Stephen Lawrence's blood being found in your wardrobe?
No, I never even wore that jacket.
Never?
Well, I wore it to school once or twice, and I had the complete mick taken out of me, so I never wore it.
The problem is the jacket appeared to be heavily worn. It had cigarette burns, a broken zipper.
Yeah, it was worn. It got worn, but not by me.
Who had been wearing it, Mr. Dobson?
My mum, my auntie, my brother.
Your auntie?
Yeah.
I suggest to you that you went out with your friends that night. You were coming home across Well Hall Road at about 10:30, and you saw 2 black boys on your manor. You saw their very presence as a provocation.
No.
And you attacked them, didn't you?
Definitely not. Absolutely not.
Did you have anything to do with the death of Stephen Lawrence?
No. Certainly not, no, sir.
The jeans seized by police from your home on 7th of May, 1993. Did they belong to you?
No, sir. They were my brother's jeans. They'd have been too loose for me.
How, Mr. Norris, can you be so sure you were not in Eltham the night of the murder?
Because I'm innocent.
You insist you were nowhere near the scene of this murder, and yet, as we have seen, fibers matching Stephen Lawrence's clothing and hairs matching Stephen Lawrence's DNA were found on your clothing. Is there any innocent explanation for how those hairs and fibers could have got on your clothing?
Nothing at all.
A little earlier, we heard a recording of you saying you would like to kill black people. You have a murderous hatred of black people, don't you, Mr. Norris?
No, not at all, sir.
The truth is, you and your mates attacked that young black boy that night, didn't you?
Absolutely not, sir.
It was a school night. There's no way David would have been out at that time.
How can you be sure?
I had a routine, and I was very strict with it. They all knew they had to be back.
Mrs. Norris, isn't it true that this is the first time there has been a breath of this alibi? It is it not, a recent invention?
No, that's not right.
Why has it only just occurred to you that your son was at home at the time of the murder?
I didn't realise at the time that it was a school night.
Of course, David wasn't actually going to school, was he? At 16, he'd finished school. Why would a school night have any relevance to him?
He had to stick to my rules, the same as the rest of my kids. My son would have been at home.
I went into the kitchen at 10:30 p.m. and that's when Gary came in and made toast. He had a pair of shorts on so I could see he hadn't been out.
Mrs. Dobson, in your 1993 statement, you say that Gary came down to the kitchen at 10:45 p.m. Why has this changed?
Well, 10:30, give or take a few minutes.
Stephen Lawrence was killed shortly after 10:30 p.m., a few minutes away from your home. If we give Gary 10 minutes, if we have him in the kitchen at 10:45 p.m., the time you gave in your original statement, then he no longer has an alibi.
No, he didn't do it. He wasn't there. Gary was in all evening.
Those two women, if it was your son, wouldn't you encourage him to take responsibility? I mean, if you don't give your children a conscience, then what have you given them?
I think you've got an optimistic view of human nature.
I meet a lot of young people in my work in schools. Some of them tough, you know? Have to fend for themselves. Mothers working shifts. But most of these kids, when you take the time to get to know them, they ain't bad. You can see that they've been given some goodness. My grandmother raised me. She was tough, but she was kind. She drummed it into me. Be kind to everyone. She did not much, but she gave me that. And I gave it to my children.
There are a few key questions you must answer before reaching a verdict. You must decide if the blood and fibers found on the accused clothing came from Stephen Lawrence. If you're satisfied on this point, you must then consider whether you can exclude the possibility of contamination. The character of the defendants is irrelevant unless you are convinced by the physical evidence putting them at the scene of Stephen Lawrence's murder. We shall reconvene on the 3rd of January for the jury to consider their verdict, and I wish you all, in advance, a Happy New Year.
Got some birch for the fireplace. Yeah, it burns hotter than pine. Smells nicer too.
Don't need to chop down the tree just to pop over for a cup of tea, you know, Clive.
Any plans for New Year?
Oh, I'm too old for all that. I'm on babysitting duty. You're worried, aren't you?
It's the waiting. This festive break is not good for my nerves.
Well, I've had plenty of practice with waiting.
Normally when the jury retires, that's it. Whatever will be, will be. But this case, your family needs justice.
Clive, I've sacrificed 18 years of my life fighting for justice for Stephen. But even if we win this case, it won't be job done, not for me.
to get this close.
You did all you could. But justice is bigger than this case.
Poor old lang syne, my dear. Poor old lang syne. I'll take a cup of kindness yet. Poor old lang syne. Poor old lang syne, my Joe. Poor old lang syne. I'll take a cup of kindness yet. Poor old lang syne.
The judge said a re-investigation of the case had led to new scientific evidence. The two accused men questioned the handling of that evidence.
Would all parties in the case of Dobson and Norris please report to Court 16? Would all parties in the case of Dobson and Norris please go to Court 16?
It's time to be put out of our misery.
Will the defendants please stand? Would the foreman of the jury please stand? Have you reached a verdict on both cases on which you are all agreed?
We have. The verdicts in this case will be received in complete silence.
Do you find the defendant, David Norris, guilty or not guilty on this indictment of murder?
Guilty.
Do you find the defendant, Gary Dobson, guilty or not guilty on this indictment of murder?
Guilty.
Oh, he's innocent. He did not kill that man.
He's condemning innocent man here today. I hope you can all live with that.
Is DCI Driscoll in court?
Yes, sir. My lord.
You've been leading this investigation since 2006.
Yes, my lord.
This is a case that has shamed and humbled the Metropolitan Police. However, you and your officers have worked incredibly hard, and you deserve to be commended. A measure of justice has finally been achieved. On the evidence before the court, there are at least 3 other killers at large. I expect you will continue your efforts to bring them to justice.
Yes, my lord. Thank you, my lord.
Congratulations, Mrs. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence. We got there in the end, eh?
Mr. Lawrence.
Derek.
Congratulations.
No. Thank you, Clive.
Do you have a statement?
Why do you think it's taken so long?
What's your reaction to the verdict?
What about the other suspects?
As Senior Investigating Officer, I welcome today's verdicts. This is a case of extraordinary importance, not just to the Metropolitan
And all this
Police,
time I thought you were
but to
SIO.
society at large.
Only if we'd lost.
We know that there were more than 2 attackers involved in this murder. I would encourage any member of the public who has information that could support our ongoing investigation to come forward.
Today is not a cause for celebration. How can I celebrate when my son lies buried? Now that we have some sort of justice, I want people to think of Stephen not only as a black teenager murdered in a racist attack. I want people to remember him as a bright, beautiful young man that any mother would have been proud of. I miss him with a passion.
My greatest hope is that these people now realize that they've been found out. And they're going to lie down in their bed and think that they are not the only ones responsible for the death of my son. And they're going to give up the rest of the people so that I can come out here again in a year's time and talk to you people again.
Mr. Lawrence, do you think the police are still
Thank you. You know, for so many years I resented those men for not repenting. But seeing them in the court, I pitied them, to be honest with you.
You must have felt as though a great weight was lifted.
I'm not ready to forgive. Not yet. But for the first time, it feels possible. I can imagine leaving them behind.
The Home Secretary, Theresa May, has ordered a review into allegations that police corruption hampered the original failed investigation into the murder of Stephen Lawrence. Mark Ellison, QC, the barrister who secured convictions against two of Stephen's murderers earlier this year, will head the review. Stephen's mother, Doreen Lawrence, is meeting with the Home Secretary to clarify the terms of reference.
Mr. Ellison, how lovely to see you again.
Do you know how many man-hours I've spent trying to get hold of these?
That's funny. It took me about 15 minutes to dig them out.
Thank you.
Anything else I can do, just let me know. We're all on the same side after all. Like the judge said, we've got 3 killers still at large. The way I see it, your case is only as good as your best witness. And my hope is that the convictions will sway a few key people who were previously reluctant. As you can see, the following people came forward in '93, but were never followed up on. We're very hopeful of being able to track them down.
Before we get into the detail, I think we should discuss the oversight of the case and management of the investigation going forward.
Dropping off those tickets, Fulham Arsenal. One for you, one for Stuart.
Ah, looking forward to it. Stuart said he'll try and go easy on you. What is it?
They're letting me go.
They're sacking you.
Compulsory retirement. There'll be a handover. They asked me to hand over my rapport with you, as a matter of fact.
They can't do that. I'll talk to the Home Secretary.
I'm 2 years over my 30. It's at their discretion. I mean, they could keep me on if they wanted to, but, well, they don't want to.
This is how they reward you. For getting convictions, they should be giving you medals.
It's all right, Doreen. It's like you said. Justice is bigger than a couple of convictions. I mean, they could stop me, but no one's ever going to stop you.